This story time is how my toxic ex-boyfriend stole $5,000 out of my bank account to give to a girl he was cheating on me with. So I've been with my ex 3 years prior to breaking up. We met at a party. He seemed pretty cool, and from there, he was really nice and different from any guy I met. Any other guy I talked to didn't seem interested in me, but him. It was like he was obsessed with me. He even said that he loved me after 2 weeks of talking. I thought it was cute, but I wasn't trying to get serious so soon. He came off very strict of what he wanted, and one of those things were me. And after 6 months of meeting this great guy, he completely changed. He became physically and emotionally abusive. I even tried to leave at some points of the relationship. One day, he asked if I could spare him some gas money because he needed to pick up his mom's medicine. So I trusted my boyfriend of 3 years and gave him my card to take the money out the ATM. When he came back and gave me my card, he went ghost for 2 days. And of course, I was upset and I blew up his phone, afraid of what happened to him. When I checked my bank statement, it showed that he took out $5,000. If y'all want to know what happened after that, this is part 2 of how my toxic ex-boyfriend stole $5,000 out of my bank account to give to a girl he was cheating on me with. So after he ghosted me for 2 days, I checked my bank account and my balance came up to $5,000 total. And it seemed like he went to different ATMs because he took a little amount and it all added up to $5,000. I was so upset, I tried calling and texting his friends, but my messages weren't going through, almost like they blocked me. Then I went ahead and called his mom, and luckily she picked up. I asked if she'd seen him, and she said she just saw him today and that she thought we broke up. I was like, he told you we broke up? And she said yes, he even brought his girlfriend Kayla over. I was so furious. She even told me that he helped her move into her new place and that he paid for her first and last month rent. And it was near the mall in our area. And I knew exactly what apartment complex she was talking about. If y'all want to know what happened after that, let me know down below in the comments. This is part 3 of how my toxic ex-boyfriend stole $5,000 out of my bank account to give to a girl he was cheating on me with. So after he lied and told everyone we broke up, I found out he was cheating on me with another girl and used the money I gave him to give her her first and last month rent. I knew exactly what apartment the girl lived in because his mom had told me. I went to the front desk and asked if there was a Kayla, and I lied and said it was for a family emergency. So the guy at the front desk was able to reach her. She had came down, she walked to the desk, and the guy at the desk pointed her towards me. I walked up to her and asked if she knew who I was, and she said no, and I broke everything down to her, telling her everything our boyfriend lied about. And she was so nice, she had no clue that any of this was going on. She even cried, but I told her to stop because I had a revenge plan and that he was going to get everything that was coming to him. And I asked if she wanted to join, and luckily she said yes. So if y'all want to know what happened after that, let me know down below in the comments. And this is when it gets juicy. This is part 4 of how my toxic ex-boyfriend stole $5,000 out of my bank account to give to a girl he was cheating on me with. So after I met Kayla, the girl he was cheating on me with, we created the ultimate get back plan. So she had to completely act like she never met me. She told him she wanted to meet up and go on a surprise vacation and that she wanted to do something fun. And him being dumb, he agreed to it. She told him to pack a bag of his nicest clothes and bring his passport. He came to her place with all his things and they got in a car. I was on the floor in the back seat and he had no clue. So she drove really far from home and stopped by the gas station because she wanted to get frisky. She told him to take off his shoes. Him being dumb, he took off his shoes. She told him to get out of the car real quick because she needed to get the surprise from under the seat. And I popped up and he jumped back. Then I closed and locked the door. He was lost and got mad and started yelling at me, calling me all types of names. If y'all want to know what happened after that, please let me know down below in the comments. This is part 5 of how my toxic ex-boyfriend stole $5,000 out of my bank account to give to a girl he was cheating on me with. So after I popped up and surprised my ex, he was so shook, he was not expecting it, and I quickly closed the door. He banged on the door, telling us to open it up and give him his things. I pulled down the window and tossed him 5 cents, saying, "Have fun walking 5 hours home with the 5 cents that you should have had before cheating on me." And Kayla quickly drove off. It was funny because he had on no shoes. When we left, we took some of his Gucci outfits he broke, cut them up, and tossed them out the window. Some of the clothes we kept and sold them to people we knew, and his passport and wallet and cards and ID was tossed out the window too. After the whole situation was over, we went to Kayla's apartment. She gave me back the money that my ex stole from me, which was kind of hard to do, and we split the money that we made off of selling his clothes. And we're now friends. As for our ex, he could stay where we left him. This story time is why I stopped being friends with the girl because her dad was a pervert. And we're calling her Kim. So me and Kim became friends at school. Over time, we realized we lived close together. So she started coming over to my house and I started going over to hers. She had 5 brothers and she was the only girl. Whenever I'd come over to her house, I'd say hello to everyone, but her dad was always excited to see me. He'd immediately run and give me a hug. Over the past couple months, he'd give me a hug and a kiss on the cheek. He said that I was his new little girl. I felt uncomfortable with it, but I went and told my friend Kim, and she said, he's just glad you're here, and you're like family now. I was like, okay, I guess, and I would just ignore it. Thanksgiving come up, and I went over to her house for a plate. Her dad opened up the door and gave me a hug and a kiss as usual. I walked in the house, and he said, you need to eat to keep that booty plump. I laughed in nervousness, and he slapped and squeezed my butt. There's more that happened after this. Let me know if you guys want a part 2. This is part 2 of why I stopped being friends with the girl because her dad was a pervert. So remember how I told y'all I came over for Thanksgiving? Her dad slapped and squeezed my butt. I was weirded out, but I laughed to hide how nervous and anxious I was. After I get a plate of food and I sit down with Kim, I told her dad slapped my butt. And she was like, yeah, okay, as if she didn't believe me. So again, I ignored the situation. As the day goes on, everyone is playing board games, laughing, and eating desserts. I had cheesecake, and I'm lactose intolerant, and you know how that went. I left the family for a few minutes, and I go to the bathroom. When I was all finished, I opened up the door, and there was Kim's dad just sitting there smiling at me. I was like, oops, my bad. You were probably waiting for a while. Here you go. And I tried to move out of the way, but then he says, I don't need to go to the bathroom. He pushes me back in by the hips and locks the door. It gets really bad after this. Y'all let me know if I should make a part. This is part 3 of why I stopped being friends with the girl because her dad was a pervert. So after her dad pushes me back into the bathroom and locks the door, he's sitting there smiling at me, and I asked him very nervously if I did something wrong. He was like, yes, you haven't been spending time with daddy, and he likes to jiggle my breasts in a weird way. At this point, I was backing up because he starts acting weird. Then he starts unzipping his pants and gets closer to me. And guys, their bathroom wasn't that big. I immediately took the Windex that was on top of their toilet and sprayed it into his eyes and quickly ran out of the bathroom. After this, her dad starts yelling. While I'm coming downstairs, everyone asks what's going on. I told the whole family what Kim dad has done, and one of their little brothers yells at me, calling me a whore. I then went to Kim saying, you gotta believe me, that's what happened. She's like, my dad would never do anything like that. Her mom walks up to me and tells me that I should leave. I starts crying, and then her mom yells at me and tells me to go home. So I left and went home crying. After that, I never went back over to her house. This story time is how my jealous stepsister cut all of my hair off when I was asleep. By the way, we're calling her Jamie. So growing up, me and Jamie never got along. She always talked bad about my mom and how my mom broke her family apart. She always had a problem with me, but I'd ignore her. Jamie was very insecure too. She always compared how he looked and would always say I was spoiled. And she only said that because last Christmas I received way more presents than her, but that was because my dad got me those presents. One day we got in an argument over cheese curls. She was upset because I took the last of it, and she pushed me and knocked all the cheese curls on the floor. My mom came in the kitchen asking what happened. I told her what Jamie did, so my mom gripped her up by the neck and told her to go into her room and think about what she has done to me. Jamie stayed in her room all day. She never came back out to apologize. Night come, and I went into my room to go to sleep. As I was sleeping, I felt something touching my head. When I got up, I saw all my hair on my pillow and Jamie with scissors. If y'all want to know what I did after that, let me know down below in the comments. This is part 2 of how my jealous stepsister cut all of my hair off when I was asleep. So after I woke up out of my sleep, I saw all my hair on my pillow and Jamie with scissors. I've never screamed so loud in my life. I tried to get back at Jamie, but she had scissors in her hand and threatened to cut me if I didn't back up. It was like she wanted to physically harm me. So I took the little karaoke machine and threw it at her, but it fell on her leg and she started crying. I was confused because the karaoke machine wasn't even that heavy. Jamie's dad walked into the room asking what happened, and Jamie said that I threw the karaoke machine at her. And my stepdad yelled at me asking, why would you do that? And then asked me what happened to my hair. I pointed at Jamie and said, Jamie cut all of my hair off. My stepdad looked at me like I was crazy and picked up Jamie and took her to the bathroom. I was mad because I knew Jamie was faking it. Then I went to my parents' room and told my mom that Jamie cut all of my hair off. If y'all want to know what happened after that, let me know down below in the comments. This is part 3 of how my jealous stepsister cut all of my hair off when I was asleep. So after I threw the karaoke machine at Jamie, she pretended to be hurt, and my stepdad picked her up and took her into the bathroom. I quickly ran into my parents' room and I told my mom that Jamie cut all of my hair off. My mom got upset and asked my stepfather, did he not see my hair? He said, well, I threw the karaoke machine at Jamie. I yelled and told him that Jamie cut all of my hair off, which is the reason why I threw the karaoke machine at her. And she's faking it. My stepdad turned to Jamie and asked her, did she really do that? Jamie lied at first and said no. When me and my mom walked into the bathroom, she said yes, and that she only did it because my mom beat her. My mom was so confused. My stepdad said, you beat my child? After this, it get real messy, and I don't know if you guys want me to get into it, but let me know down below in the comments if you guys want to know what happened after that. This is part 4 for my jealous stepsister cut all of my hair off when I was asleep. I wasn't really expecting to make a part 4 because it gets messy after this, but since y'all asked for it, here I go. So after Jamie cut all of my hair off and lied and told her dad that the reason why she cut my hair off because my mom beat her, her dad got really upset and actually thought my mom hit her. So our parents got into a whole argument and my mom was upset because he wasn't believing her. And my mom knew it was her word against his daughter and that there was no convincing. So my mom decided to leave. After 30 minutes of me and my mom packing up her things, Jamie went to her dad crying, saying that she lied and that my mom didn't beat her and that she apologized for cutting my hair. Her dad was really upset and made her apologize to me and my mom. So after I came back home 2 days early from my business trip, I caught my boyfriend in bed with my best friend. My heart has never burned so hard. I blacked out and I went crazy. I jumped on the bed and started beating him.
Tapping.
And he was stronger than me and was able to pin me down. He was naked, but he was over me, so I was able to squeeze his you-know-what. And he crawled in the corner, panicking. My best friend seemed like she was trying to put on clothes and rush out, but she wasn't getting away easy, so I snatched the clothes she was trying to put on, threw it out the window. I snatched her by the hair,
pulled her out of the house,
and she stood outside naked.
Barely clothed.
And I didn't care because I never felt so betrayed. Then I went back to the room, and it seemed like my boyfriend was trying to get up and put on clothes and grab his keys, but I snatched the keys out of his hands and flushed them down the toilet. At that point, I got fed up, so I grabbed my taser and told him to get out, and I left both of them outside naked.
Clothed.
My boyfriend was trying to get back in the house, so I called the police about trespassers trying to get inside my house and trying to attack me. If you want to know what happened after that, let me know down below in the comments.